TimeShot, yes, TimeShot. I'm in the place where my friends are, and I know together we'll go far. Yeah, TimeShot, yes, TimeShot. And I'm still doing things the TimeShot way.
Hello, people, it's Poet, and we're back on TimeShot. Now, today I'm going to work on the crane a little bit more. I didn't actually finish what I said I was going to finish with the adding pillars and stuff, so let's go ahead and start doing that. And I'm just going to give you guys one more update. Yes, one more update about my life, because I know you guys like that, don't you? Don't you? Please like me. But seriously, I am beaming right now. I'm feeling elated. I'm feeling so positive, so amazed, so... Oh, what's another word to even describe the way that I feel? I think elated was pretty good. But anyway... Whoop! That auto jump, man. I have auto jump on, because look at this. Look at this. Look at how fast I can run up these stairs with auto jump on. Look at this. Okay, that didn't seem very fast. Let's try that. Let's try one more time. I had it... If I can get it just right, you can just like run up the stairs. So, why didn't I take damage? Ooh, lagging. Oh, there was it. For a split second there, you can like run up stairs so fast. But let's get rid of that now, because that is really annoying when I'm trying to be a little bit more particular with where I land and where I run and where I jump. All right, so yes, I am a little bit hyper today. I'm a little bit excited, like I was saying, and one of the key reasons is because, well, first of all, where do I even start? I mean, you guys know. Everybody knows. The thing's been retweeted like 320 times at this point, something like that. You guys know that, yes, I was approved for my fiance visa. It all came down to that. It was the biggest moment of my life up to this point. I'm not even kidding you. I am not married yet. That'll be the biggest day of my life. But right now, up to this point, that was the biggest day of my life. Was traveling to Montreal, Canada, going to the consulate, having my interview, and getting that stamp of approval. That was the biggest moment of my life. And I mean, what can I say? I mean, the whole thing, even going down to like the fact that I was able to travel to that, you know, if I'm really to get technical here, is on account of you guys watching, you guys supporting me. It's because of you guys that I was able to follow my dreams and get married to win. Well, I'm not married yet, but you know what I mean. Get the ability to marry win. Was entirely because of you guys, and it's so humbling to me. It tears me up. It makes me want to just... If I could give you all a giant virtual hug, I would. As lame and corny as that sounds, I really do mean it. Like, I just appreciate you guys so much for all your support through our whole journey. And it all came down to that, and it was such a positive, emotional thing because, well, I was successful. And I wanted to tell you guys kind of... I wanted to tell you guys... Why am I lagging? What the heck, man? Gotta reset my internet or something. It's been doing sort of weird things all day. I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about it. A little bit about the journey and... about how it all went. So, I don't know how many of you guys... know much about Canada and about Montreal, the city in Canada specifically. Montreal is a French city in Canada, in the French section of Canada called Quebec. And that's all that I can really say about the city. It's huge. It's got, I don't know what 10 million people living there? I'm guessing. About 10 million or so people living in that city. So it's not, you know, Tokyo size large, but it's as far as like the entire population of all of Canada is something like 20-something million. And if Montreal's got 10 million, I think you can kind of do the math as to like just how many people live there. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy amount of people living there, and it's primarily French. Most people can speak English as well, most people, but primarily it's French. And in fact, to be polite to people there, you generally should at least try to speak in French, or at least greet them in French and go from there, kind of as a sign of respect, and just, you know, to embrace their culture while you're there, and so on and so forth. It's the chic thing to do, as they say. And it was interesting. You know, it was my first time ever traveling around in Montreal. I have been to Montreal's airport before, but I've never been to the city before. And I don't know, my French skills are not that great. You know, they used to be very good. When I was a little kid, I could speak it very well. But as I grew up, that skill faded, that skill vanished. Just because I hadn't used that. Like, I was put into a school where it was both French and English, but my parents chose to put me into the English side. I'm not sure what the reasons for that are, actually. I should one day ask them, like, why did I go into the English side? I think they always wanted me to go into the French side, but I guess they thought that I'd have a better time of things if I was in the English side. I'm not sure why, honestly. But we were given the choice, because the way that the school worked is that it was actually split in two, and half the school was French, and half the school was English, and half the school learned everything and spoke everything in French, and the other half learned everything and spoke everything in English. So, two kind of polar opposites there. But that's the way that their system worked, and it's actually not a bad system. It helps people learn by immersing them in the language. That's why it's called immersion. It's an immersion school. So I was in the English side. I didn't learn a lot of my French skills completely vanished, and je comprends un peu français, but not a lot. You know what I mean? So what I mean is I speak a little French, but not a lot. And when you go into Montreal, you think that, yes, it's part of Canada. Half of us speak English. I've heard that half of the people here speak English. Surely there will be English signs in places. There will be English. No. Get out. Go away. No English for you. There is, seriously, like, in every other city that I've ever been to, they will cater to English. So, you know, every other city, subway system, for example, nothing but English signs, or at least, you know, English, but they'll also have, like when I was in Vancouver the other day, they had even Chinese on the signs, which was kind of interesting. They had English, French, and Chinese. And I walked through this one district of the city that actually had some other form of language on the signs as well. I think for their Indian community. I'm not sure. So that's why I'm not saying what language it was, but I think that's what it was. And yeah, that looks all right. You know what? I kind of want to change that to be quartz, that one little end piece there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that. Slabs I'll need, right? Yeah, I can make them. Okay, let's go up. And anyway, that made it a little bit interesting to get around, because you kind of had to know, and maybe I was just in the wrong places, but you really had to know French, at least the basics, just to get around and to here we go. Looks okay. So, like, to read street signs, you needed to know sort of French in a little way. More so, like, things on the subway, the announcements come on in French, and to tell you when your stop is. And if you're not kind of savvy on the names of places or what the person might be saying on the intercom, then you could very well just get off on the wrong stop or not even make your stop and just keep going. And liked it the other way better. After all that, liked it the other way better. Let's go back up. So anyway, I got to my appointment. Actually, I got an Airbnb while I was there. Sponsor, not really. And it was a nice place. I had my own little kind of apartment that was cheaper than a hotel while I was there. And that was easy enough to find. I just spent the night there. And then the next morning, walked out to the consulate, which was about a 25 minute walk. Actually, maybe it was more like 25-30 minute walk. It was a little bit brisk. There was a little bit of a, spitting rain coming down, but not bad. And here's the thing. Okay, so my adventure begins with me going to the consulate. So I walked to the consulate. It was just down the same street that I was in. And I get there and realize that, oh no, I can't take my bag in. I had just a carry-on style, like satchel style bag. Not like what you would put on top of, what am I saying? It's like you've got your carry-on luggage, which is like approximately 2 feet long, but this one was just over 1 foot long. It was just like a little handbag, and so I have this little handbag, and I go to bring it in, and it's one of those things that isn't allowed for security reasons. And the security reason is that someone could bring their handbag in, or their backpack in, or some other item in, and then it might have like a bomb or something, and so they can't take that kind of a security risk for obvious reasons. That is an obvious reason. I understand. It's an understandable reason. Maybe it's not obvious, but it's understandable. And so I had to leave my bag somewhere. Well, here it is. It's 10 o'clock. My appointment was for 10. I'm there at 9. And the mall with the lockers to store your stuff opens at 10. So I couldn't use the locker at the mall because that opens at 10. And my appointment's for 10. Oh, crap. Whoa. This is a bad place, isn't it? Light up your tunnels, poet of the past. How far does this one go? Pretty far. I'm just gonna start a new tunnel here. I'm whoa! Winner, chicken dinner. If this was PUBG, I'd win. So look, no. What does that even mean? There aren't any diamonds in PUBG. I got diamonds, so I am a winner. Even if this isn't PUBG, I'm getting a chicken dinner. That's not what I actually intended to get. I'm looking for iron, as I was about to say, because I want to put that on top of... Iron and gold would be nice. To put that on top of... Oh, do I have Silk Touch? I don't have... Okay, so I can't get coal, but I can get iron, at least, and some gold. I was going to take some redstone, maybe, some coal, some lapis, some gold, some iron. But I don't have Silk Touch, so I'll just have to settle for some iron, potentially some gold, and go from there. And that'll be what we put on our little crane thing. So, back to my story. I get to the consulate, and I have my luggage. It's just a small bag. It's only got, like, a t-shirt in it. Some personal items, and then my documents, my documentation that I needed to bring with me. It's got all that, and then some things like my phone charger, earbuds, So I'm not allowed to bring this in, and the lockers, the closest lockers, are closed. And even then, the lockers themselves were, you know, about a 10-minute walk away. So if it opened at 10, and I was at the mall for 10, by the time I got in, let's say they open the doors right on 10 on the nose because they're super vigilant. I would only get back to the consulate probably like 20 after. So that was not an option. There were no hotels in the area that were accepting my bag because I didn't have any, like I wasn't staying at those hotels. I was staying at an Airbnb. My checkout time at the Airbnb was also 10 o'clock. So I couldn't just leave my stuff there either. You can see my dilemma already. So I went to the train station to see if they had lockers. Apparently not. Apparently there was a bombing, and this is why everybody's paranoid in the city. And I don't know if it's paranoia. Like I said, it's sometimes obvious or it makes sense. But there was a bombing when the Pope was visiting the city like 25, 30 years ago. And because of that bombing, bus stations and train stations and stuff no longer have lockers. I guess because that's where the bomb might have been. I don't know. I don't know the details. All I know is that they don't have lockers like anywhere in the city anymore. So good luck. Have fun. So it's an hour before my appointment, and I'm outside the consulate, and I'm having to figure out what to do for a locker. And I decide to take a little walk around the building. So the building has kind of this little mini park around it, and it says in French on the steps, private property. Now, I act ignorant, like I can't read the French, and I just walk onto the private property and go into their little park area. And it's a little park area, I think, for like employees of the consulate building. I'm not even sure who it's for, but it has a little winding path that goes through the back. And then beside the winding path is an abandoned parking lot with a big chain link fence. And I was able to get into that area. Now, obviously, that area is usually off limits to the public, but I was there because nobody stopped me going in. Great security at the consulate, I'm sure. But nobody seemed to care that some guy was just walking through an abandoned parking lot. Like, what am I going to do, right? With my suspicious satchel that I'm not allowed to bring in. So I go to the end of the parking lot, and there's this big rock there, and I kind of sit down on the big rock, and I'm waiting for my appointment time to come up, because I wasn't even allowed to go into the consulate, by the way, unless my appointment was like, you have to go on time, quote unquote. You can't go early, so don't go an hour early. I was there about 20 minutes before my appointment early, and that was the only time they would let me in, really. So I'm waiting on this big rock for my appointment time to come up. I've got an hour or so to kill. And I'm not picking this up. Oh, no. There we go. I've got about an hour to kill, and I'm looking around me, and I realize that there are some trees around me, too. These trees would be the perfect hiding spot. I think this is enough. That they would be the perfect hiding spot for my bag. So what I do is I take everything out of my bag of importance to me, like my wallet, my cell phone, my itinerary for my plane, so that I can at least know the code to get onto the plane, the reservation code. I take everything out that I really need, all the documents that I'm going to bring to the consulate, take those out. And the only thing that I left in there were like my toothbrush, a couple shirts type of thing. Nothing that couldn't be replaced. My cell phone charger, my earbuds, they stayed in the bag. Nothing that I couldn't replace, you know. And I took that bag and I chucked it between these three trees. There were these three trees that all grew kind of together, and I chucked it right into the middle of them. And I walked to my appointment. Appointment went great, guys. Like, so good. And I don't know how much I'm allowed. I'm probably allowed to say all of it, but there was this one girl that went in before me. There were actually about 15 people there. About 10 who were before me. Between 5 and 10 before me. And the girl who went in directly ahead of me, I was number 19, she was number 18. She got denied. She got denied her visa. You could tell most of the people going in, they would go in kind of nervous. Like, people in there were shaking. People in there were like teeth chattering nervous. And they would go into their appointment at the window, and when they'd come out, they would be beaming, you know, the same way that I feel right now. They'd be so happy, they'd be thrilled, they'd be elated. They'd have that look about them, that little glow, that little sense of relief, you know, that you can see in people. That's what they had. Then this girl goes in directly ahead of me. She comes out, and she did not have a look of relief. She did not have the look of excitement and elation and all those other good things. Oh no. She looked almost upset, but to the point of almost being angry. And of course, everybody, it's so odd how the human mind, or how the human eyes, how we train in on someone's emotions. But it was crazy. We all tuned in to the fact that something wasn't the same as the others. That she had gone in, everybody else is coming out feeling a little bit elated. You know, they've got little smirks, they've got, you know, just they have that glow about them. Then this person comes out and she's got this stern look of concern, almost like disappointment, almost like she had found out horrible news. Her husband, her fiance, was actually there. He was allowed into the building. He actually went with her. He was there. And they went to a corner and started talking, and I didn't hear the conversation. I wasn't eavesdropping. But obviously you get the gist that they were denied and that they needed some other thing that she didn't have. And this is the person who's gone in right before me. And that's when the nerves kicked in. Up to that point, like I was saying, there were people there who were nervous. There were people there who were a little bit worried, teeth chattering, like I said. There was a girl who came in with me at the door. She walked in at the same time as me. And she was like trying to talk to security. She was fumbling over her words. And just overall nervous. And, you know, that's what you get from people who are there for such an important day. But meanwhile, I'm not trying to brag at all. Really, I'm not. I was sitting there yawning. I must have actually made some people mad with that fact. Because there I am. I'm sitting there and I'm yawning away, stretching away. You know, just wanting to take a little bit of a nap. I was tired. Not concerned about the appointment whatsoever. This is just my attitude, the way that this is me. This is how I act. This is who I am. I can't change that. So that's how I was. And as soon as I see this person get denied, that's when I started the very, very, very first time to get a little bit of a palpitation in my heart. A little bit of a concern there. A little bit of a, oh crap, what if moment. Up to that point, see, this is the way that I've always treated life, treated important decisions in life, treated important interviews and meetings in life all my life. Is that I go in like I own it. I go in like there's no problem. I go in and I win it. That's just the way that it's always been. If I go into a job interview, I go in knowing that the job is already mine. And it's absolutely crazy to think that they wouldn't like me, or that something could go wrong, or that I might fail. If you understand me. So, with that in mind, how do I fix this? Let me go through this way. With that in mind, I was starting to get a little bit nervous there. But went in, interview went great. In fact, it was so casual, I was over-prepared. She asked me about how we met. about what I did for a living, I think. I don't even... no, she didn't even ask that. She just asked how we met, how much we see each other, how much we talk. And that was pretty well it, I gotta say. Done. You are approved. They gave me a piece of paper, printer paper, that says on it, "Welcome to America." And that was it. You're approved. I've got the tracking number for my brand new visa in the mail as we speak. It's going to be here on the 29th if all goes well with the post office. So, that was great. Go back outside, and of course now I'm happy. Yes, I made it. This is great. This is wonderful. Okay. Got to get my bag. Got to go get my bag that I had ditched. Where could it be? So I go the same way as I did before. I walk through the private property, go to the back of the private property where the abandoned parking lot is. And what do I see in the distance but a homeless guy with a sort of a blanket over him and a backpack resting up against this big rock. And my bag is not 10 feet from this guy. So I go up. What the heck? I walk up to... He was sleeping, okay? He's sleeping. He's sitting there. He's asleep. And I walk up casually. Just picture this. This homeless guy sleeping beside a backpack of mine. And I just stroll on in, grab up the backpack without saying a thing, turn on my heels, and just away I go the opposite direction. What he must have thought. There was stuff in there that he could have used, though, beneficial to him. I think some deodorant, you know, and I'm not saying that homeless people are all stinky, but you know, I'm sure that if I was in need of hygiene, as many homeless people are, they'd appreciate the fact that there's a perfectly good tube of toothpaste in there and some shampoo and some deodorant and stuff like that. A brand new T-shirt, brand new a sweater in there as well. Like there were lots of things that could have been a little bit beneficial to someone who is homeless. But at the same time, I want my charger so I can charge my phone, please. I don't want to have to go to the iStore at the airport and pay $70 for one, or find an Apple store in the mall and get one for $25. Either way, I grabbed that bag and I ran. So that was my adventure in Montreal, basically, and then yep, that was it. What can I say? I'm happy. Like I said, you guys are definitely to thank for just about everything that's happened. Apart from the romance, obviously, but as far as like finances go, you guys supporting me. I'm just running back and forth at this point. You guys supporting me, my channel, what I do. You know, I wouldn't be where I am without you guys. And I say that a lot, but it's so true. It's so very true. I really wouldn't. So thank you so much for it. The GoFundMe is still a thing, and it's in the link. The description is in the link. No, the link is in the description. And you can donate to there if you so wish. It's entirely 100%. I don't even have access to the bank account. It's all going to Win, so that she can afford to travel to come move with me. We didn't reach our goal right now, so unfortunately we cannot rent a van in order to move me there. We're not quite sure what we're gonna do yet. I need to still I'm trying to get my car approved so I can drive it across the border as an import, but the company Chrysler is having issues. They're not getting back to me. I don't know what the big deal is. There's some issues there where they're not returning my calls. They're not getting me the info I need. So unfortunately, I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's all kind of up in the air right now. So again, if you guys can donate anything at all, it'll definitely go towards us moving me to the United States. And that is absolutely the very final donation thing for me getting into the United States. Everything else is done. Everything else 100% done. We do still have to adjust status, which costs about $1,000 in the future. But I'm gonna cover that. You guys aren't gonna. I'm not gonna do some kind of a charity stream or some kind of a other request of you guys. I'm going to do that. I'm gonna cover that myself. Now that I'm working full time, I should be able to cover that kind of stuff better than I was before. So I'm pretty sure that that's gonna be okay. And with that, I think that we're done with this episode today. I need to still put some kind of a little railing along here in some way. Probably wood, you know, just put some kind of a, doesn't even have to be like a complete railing. Can have some breaks in it here and there, but just to keep people from straying too far into the pit. Apart from that, I hear that Tort's been on a lot over the last few days. I don't know what he's been doing or if he's been recording it or what. I hear that he's been on a ton. His reason, he said in one of my comments for building the wall, is that if you've got neighbors like he does, who wouldn't build a wall? I tend to agree, even though I am the neighbor. So I don't know what he's been working on, but I'm actually kind of curious to see lately what he's been doing. So maybe I'm going to stroll out there off camera and take a peek. You guys should check out his channel and take a peek as well. So we'll do that together, and we'll see you guys next time on TimeShot. Bye-bye.